And welcome everyone to Wednesday Night Fights 5.3 2012. I'm Alex Valle. I'm here with a special guest. You guys might recognize him for a lot of OG fighting game action, Mr. Seth Killian. What's up, man?
Happy to be back, man.
Yeah, dude.
Feeling good.
So today we have a special event. We usually here at Wednesday Night Fights, if you haven't noticed already, give a lot of exposure to the new fighting games that are out there that a lot of people want to try, that might not get too much love in the competitive field, but here we want to see all the family grow together, because when me and you went to the arcade and we're playing one game, right, and win or lose actually, the next fighting game that's there, I'll wait until my next turn and play the next one. See, we had that same common interest, right?
I learned a lot of fighting games by you crush fools at Street Fighter, then they go, I'm gonna go play this other shit, Samurai Showdown, right? and they'll be like, screw you, I'm not gonna let you get out of here. I'll learn that, crush you at that too.
Right.
So yeah, you just go around and make the circuit.
Right. So today, Seth, why don't you tell a little bit about? Sorry, man. I just came back from Detroit.
Dude,
I'm a little.
I tied one on last night after the election. So
you were
I'm
on
recovering
too. Late?
Yeah. I was out for a while.
Yeah. Well, tell everybody what you brought here tonight.
Well, and a surprise to nobody, it's PlayStation All Stars. So this game has, I think, a rocky road with a lot of people. It's been a tough sell because basically everything we've been showing has been crazy free-for-all action, which is sort of the most. It's not random, good players will win, and, for anybody that had a chance to play the beta, in the later days of the beta, I was seeing people do stuff that I'd never seen before and didn't know about, and I was like, that's pretty cheap. People got really good, so there is a real, competitive spine. Obviously, some of the combat designers on the game, Ed Ma.
Yes,
Ed's a legend and, top 8 EVO finalist.
Yes.
Monster here.
So we
got Mr. Majestros.
Yeah, we got legit top 8 placers in the tournaments that you guys know of.
Yeah.
So it's not just
they're working on the game. Yeah,
it's not like people you haven't heard of trying the game out. It's actually people that want this game to be competitive.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing. The mandate from Sony, I don't think, was really to be make it super awesome, competitive, like a steely game. They're just jump around. I think their idea about the game, wasn't. They weren't against that at all. But I think that wasn't really the idea from the beginning. But then the guys who are working on it, Omar, who did UFC and is a great Virtua Fighter player, and he's a game director. And there's just a lot of guys that really love fighting games and know them at their core. So there's a ton of very core fighting stuff going on in this game. But what you see when you look at it from the outside for the first time is just a bunch of people flying around and bouncing off the walls, and you're like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I've been reading a lot on SRK, Event Hubs, and what have you. And the general, you got Street Fighter players, your Tekken players, your Virtua Fighter players, and they're just stuck playing those games.
Well, sure.
Why would they jump on this one?
One of the things, so honestly, one of the things that I've found I really liked about this game is, so if you're if you're a good for me, right? I can be smart about fighting games, but I'm not very coordinated. So I'd always whenever I play a new game, I pick, I play a bunch of characters, but then I end up only really getting really good with a couple, 2, 3 maybe. In Marvel, you have maybe a couple teams or whatever. But the thing about this game is the inputs are all so easy. It's just button plus direction, right? So the techniques are kind of advanced, but there's some legitimately advanced stuff that gets. We were talking about this interesting with or earlier with. We'll get into that later when we have something to look at, and we'll talk about it then.
Let me show a little bit of the game.
Yeah, we can put it on in the background. That'd be great.
Sure. Okay.
Where were we?
You're talking about it can be a little heavy on the technique down the road.
Oh, right. So, but anyway, right. One of the things I think will help people get into this is that all the characters have, radically different moves and totally different play styles. The way Sly plays from a Kratos or a Raiden or anything like that is totally different. But the moves are all really easy to do, so you're never going to struggle. You got to play smart, but you're never going to struggle to learn the character. You know how to do everything really fast, so then it's just a matter of trying to apply it and figuring out what's the optimal strategy with this guy, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really easy to pick up. So that's, I think, hopefully going to be a door for a lot of people. And I was saying, just sort of in my sort of more grandfather role in the fighting game community, one of the things I'm excited about is I hope the fighting game community has a little bit of a place for this, because I think this game is going to bring in a lot of players that would not normally get into like a Street Fighter or something like that. So I think there's going to be a lot of fresh blood coming to this game. Just people that are interested in the characters, or big PlayStation fans, or whatever that might be. And I think there's going to be a lot of, and I think fresh blood in the fighting game community is always a good thing, because I mean, I remember back in the day when we were running tournaments, and like the idea of having Marvel at a tournament was like, what? That game's just a button mash.
I remember.
You remember that stuff? Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, early Marvel superheroes, and
everybody hated on all those games.
Like Children of the Atom. Was there any tournaments back then for that game?
Children of the Atom, I think we missed.
I think we missed that one, right?
I was over there looking at the looking at X-Men versus Street Fighter, and I believe you knocked me out of. I ended up third in X-Men versus Street Fighter tournament back at Super Just Games. You knocked me out. You were playing Cyclops.
And Wolverine.
I was playing. Yeah, I was playing. Who was I playing? Sabretooth and Chun-Li. And crouching forward with Cyclops pretty much beats all my jump-ins. So I learned the hard way. I was like, that move's pretty good.
Yeah, but again, to what you said, me, if I never touched this game before, of course I'm gonna go to like Heihachi. I'm like that. I mean, I'm a Tekken player, so I'm gonna go there.
Heihachi is actually an advanced character. Ed Ma was the guy who designed him from the beginning. He's got a lot of really cool techniques. Looks like a new player is playing Heihachi. I don't know if that might be Eliver over there or one of the newer guys. I think these are players who have not played before. We've got a bunch of guys from Superbot here tonight. So a lot of the combat design team, I think almost the entire combat design team, or at least most of the character designers are all here tonight. Yeah, but I think these are just new players playing here right now.
Right, and so when Eliver was actually playing this game on the side, just for shits and giggles, I saw him give that Marvel stare at it.
Oh, dude, like you saw his eyes.
His eyes. Yeah. If you guys know what I'm talking about, that $1 million look.
Yes. the look, the eye of the tiger.
The eye of the tiger.
Yes.
He was given that same stare to this game. He was.
Yeah. This game gets pretty serious.
He has it right now. Look. Yes. If you see it. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, look, right there. It's right there. I wasn't kidding.
Deadly eyes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. It's. I honestly been playing this game a lot. I have a really good time, and it's also weird in a 4-player game when you're playing, at least because the beta is really free for all. There's you can also play 2v2. The beta's over now, unfortunately. The game comes out on November 20th, so that's not too long from now. So the beta just ended, but we just saw something there briefly with Kratos in the corner. So basically, what I was talking to AJ about earlier was. There's a thing in Marvel, right? So this game has what we call static hit stun, which means, unlike a Smash Brothers, Smash, whatever, there are sort of combos in Smash, but it's all dependent on like what percentage you're at, right? The degree of floatiness to the characters and all that. In this, it's a lot more sort of traditional fighting game style because it's static hit stun. So the characters will have the same hit reaction consistently every time. Okay. Like you do one move, it's always going to have this effect, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of crumples and a lot of very standard kind of fighting game stuff that you'll see. We got level 3 with Kratos. These guys are probably... Oh, nice roll there from Drake. You got a 16-frame invulnerable roll. I would have gone back at him because this is a really strong super, but it looks like a newer player knows a little bit there.
For those that... I know this is quite... actually a lot different than Smash on how to get kills.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit how you
Absolutely. That's a good note, right? I've been playing so much of this game, I just assume that everyone knows what's up. But so it's totally different, and it's one of these things that's like, unfortunately, I'm just having to talk to people here, but anybody in the arcade can check it out for themselves. When you talk about it, you're like, I don't like the sound of that system. But then when you play it, nobody really objects anymore. If you play it for like half hour or whatever, you'll see sort of the wisdom of the system, or at least, honestly, when I started on this game, because I came in late in the project, and I was like, I don't know about this, only supers kill. So that's, to answer your question, so you build meter by hitting each other. And with the meter, you see, when it's at 0, you can't do a super. When it's at 1, you can do a level 1. Level 1s, basically, they can be comboed under certain circumstances, and it depends on the character, but generally it's very difficult to combo a level 1. It's not a guaranteed kill at all. They have generally slower startup, so basically they require a little bit of prediction or catching people who are otherwise occupied, whether by a teammate or whatever else is going in this case, a free-for-all match. So one of the things I want to do tonight, hopefully before we get off here, is get some players who know what they're doing to show off also 2v2, which I think is a lot more nuanced of a game. Because with free-for-all, of course, there's always going to be some element of randomness. But anyway, about the supers killing, again, totally get it. People, when they hear about it, like, that sounds weird. That's not really my thing. But when they actually try it, it makes a lot of sense. And it's a unique system, and it's been hard on the Smash front because people are like, oh, this is obviously a Smash Brothers ripoff. But then when they play it, they're like, hey, this doesn't play like Smash. You got Smash wrong.
So, okay, when you kill someone, I just noticed a very Tron-like thing. You know, in Tron they de-res, right? In this game they Sony. The little button
they
icon,
explode
right?
into the X's and triangles and circles, and
they have your own little flavor on de-resing.
Yeah. And you get the kill. The kills are colored based on the person who killed you.
Now we're gonna
we get Clock in the mix. It's
like
Rip.
Yeah. Clock, Rip.
Yeah,
Steve.
see if Clock does anything clever.
See if Mash can play.
Yeah, let's get some Superbot guys in there so they know what they're doing. Okay, that's Al Yang. He's one of our combat designers as well over at Superbot. He's a smart guy. Are they going to do teams? We'll see. I don't know if they're going to do teams or.
Should tell them to go do teams.
Yeah.
Hey, Clock.
Have them go teams and
do teams. Are you gonna do teams?
Have Maj and Al, just have them destroy them.
Yeah,
just knock them, just crush them.
That's the best, right?
Yeah, Al plays a pretty cheap Sackboy. Sackboy's sort of a weird sort of. I actually regard his playstyle as a little bit like Dalsim. He's not too great up close. He's got a couple good up close moves, but basically wants to stay far away and kind of harass you and build meter that way. He's got an iffy level 1, a really solid level 2, and probably the best level 3 in the game right now. I'm actually voting for a slight nerf on his level 3. I'll show you how that works as we get there. But anyway, yeah, you build meter by hitting your opponents. You can block, of course, but blocking you still build, or the attacker will still build 50% of their meter, even if you're blocking. So in general, blocking is not a strong strategy. You want to roll around and do a lot of evades, but blocking won't win you matches.
Is there an effect if you block too much?
No. Well, there are guard crush moves in the game, but there's not a guard crush meter. So you won't
know when you're getting guard crushed?
No, you'll know that you're getting guard crushed because there's guard crush moves. It's like focus attacks, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So moves that will automatically break block, but there's not a guard crush meter. But the reason you don't want to do that is because the guy who would have guard crushed you anyway now has double the meter you do and can do like a guaranteed level 2 kill or even a level 3, which is very, very strong.
So is each level a different type of super, or is the same super but just different strength?
So the supers are all totally unique. So
they're unique.
The level 1 is just the level 2 is not a more powerful version of the level 1. It's just its own unique move.
Oh, okay.
And they're generally much faster and much better every level you go up. So it's worth. But the other thing that's a little bit of hidden information is the meter gain. So the level 1 supers don't cost the same for every character. So, like, Sweet Tooth has actually a really inexpensive level 1. It's about 100, what we call AP, which is the energy you get from hitting each other. Whereas Kratos has, like, I think it's at about 160 right now, AP. So his is a little more expensive. Same with the level 2s and level 3s. They have different costs, which you'll naturally get into. But basically, every level you move up, the move is a lot stronger. So a lot of level 2s you can actually combo legitimately. But again, comboing into super is an important part of the game, but it's not really necessarily the essential thing. Because really, the mind games, you get the natural mind games that you get in any game with trying to set people up and trying to guess where they're going to go and make sure you bait them into the evading at the wrong time or whatever to build your meter. And then once you have meter, then another little mini game begins, or a little mind game, meta game on top of that, where now I have to figure out a way to land the super. So it's not just hitting your opponent, it's finding a way to convert that into actual scores.
Now, another question. So when you build, like, say, level 3, are you forced to use level 3, or can you use level 1s while you're fully stocked?
That's a totally good question. And the answer, again, which is an answer I disagreed with at the beginning and then changed my mind in the course of development, is people say, oh, you should be able to switch back to level, do multiple level 1s or something like that. And there are strategies where you can kind of do that. There's, like, if you have a level 1 that's almost to a level 2, like with Sweet Tooth, for instance, there's situations where if you start using your level 1 right before you get to level 2, you'll actually have enough meter to do, like, almost 3 level 1s. So you can build up sort of multiple level 1s that way, but basically, if you're at level 3, you cannot go back down to a level 2 unless you lose AP. And that's another important part of the game.
Oh, how do you lose AP?
So the way you can lose it, you can only lose AP by being either hit by an environmental hazard, and again, you can turn off the environmental hazards, but they're a lot sort of less invasive than they would be in Smash, for instance.
Meaning
with a nice combo there. I think
less
he's
random?
Dante. Yeah, a lot less random. The items are also pretty well balanced. So you can lose AP by being hit with a stage hazard or falling into a pit or something like that. You can also lose AP by being thrown. So every character has 3 unique throws, and the throws, some of them set up combo opportunities. All of them eject AP. Right now it's set to be 15% of your AP is lost, and the percentage is important there. The percentage is important because basically if you have level 3, if you're close to a level 3, you might have as much as 700 AP. So a throw would eject 15% of 700 is a lot more than 15% of like 100 AP.
It's a lot of math.
You lose. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, you lose a lot of. You can lose a lot of life, or you lose a lot more if you're thrown while you have more AP. So it becomes riskier to go that way. We've also increased the range on throws pretty significantly, as well as being able to basically while you're running. You maintain momentum, and your throw will sort of slide and grab. The throw's frames stay active long enough. So it can throwing people is not the easiest thing in the world, but it's an important part of the strategy, especially if you see somebody trying to build to a level 2 or level 3, and you think that's what their strategy is. Throws become very, very effective. Like you saw there, Dante just got thrown, and he lost. I think he was going for level 3, so he lost a good chunk of AP there, and he'll have to work harder now to build that back up.
So you said there's 3 different types of throws. Is that like left throw, right throw, up throw?
Yeah, there's up, left, up, side, and down. A lot of the up throws will set up combo opportunities, but they tend to take a little longer. The animation is a little longer. Most of the down throws, again, it's totally character dependent. But in general, a down throw tends to be faster. Like your animation will finish faster. So obviously it can be risky. Good stuff there. Radic takes it. Cheap stuff. That's a good stage for Radic because it's he's very good at controlling. The other thing that this game really comes down to is, again, on the fighting fundamentals, is huge amount of space control. Because obviously there's a lot more motion and stage environment issues than you'd get in like even a Marvel, anything like that. But what I really love about it is that there's some characters really designed this way. It's like Radic we saw there. He's the sniper from Killzone. Has a lot of like horizontal control. He's really good at controlling horizontal, and then also like a slight diagonal in front of him. He has some control there. He's obviously a lot weaker up close. I shouldn't say obviously, but he's a good, strong, long-range character, a good keep-away character. So keep-away characters, of course, have liability up close. So he's got some of that. But the characters all really function in terms of like, or one of the design elements is this character is strong like horizontally. This character has a good way of moving up and down vertically or controlling people who are right underneath him. Some characters have a good like up above kind of control and danger zones for them.
Yeah, I can see him really well paired up in a 2v2 environment.
Oh, the 2v2 gets that's where my favorite, right? It gets super interesting there. But even 1v1, there's a lot of great stuff. And free for all, I got to say, I have a really good time with it. As far as like tournaments or anything like that, I suspect like 2v2 or 1v1 will probably be. And 2v2 to me gets the most interesting because you get all these really crazy strategies where different elements of the characters can really complement each other, or different play styles. We've got a teammate here some of the combat designers here they consider themselves the best in the world, which I think will be true for about another 2 weeks until they get blown up, which I'll be looking forward to. But they've got a really strong Drake-Dante combo and a really strong Drake-Kratos combo as well.
Yeah, so you mentioned that earlier that there are really, really, really good people on the beta.
Oh, yeah.
Already pretty much mastered the characters that are available.
No, they've come up with all sorts of really interesting stuff. And to me, watching the beta from the beginning, it's been great because I've seen sort of the evolution. At the beginning, nobody really knew what they were doing. They're just sort of hitting buttons. And, there were some people who were smart already, but they didn't really have a lot of technique. They've developed just incredible amount of technique and really amazing stuff. I've seen stuff that, frankly, I didn't know was in the game.
The fish is going to get him. Oh.
Yeah, this is an interesting stage. So basically, if you fall in the water, the fish is a stage hazard. So if you fall in there and are hit by the fish, you don't die, but you'll appear there. You lose AP. You teleport back to the top. You lose AP, which is bad,
but
you're also stunned.
Yeah.
So people can kill you if they're aware of that. So you can die from that situation, but it's not a guaranteed kill at all.
Okay.
But again, against smart players, yeah, you'd be in trouble.
And here's the $1 million question.
Yes.
How is online?
Online has actually been really good, and they kept the beta up a little longer than it was originally planned, just because they found ways to even improve. Basically, so the beta was really at its peak. We call it a beta test because that's really what it was. It was a test of the online to see, like, hey, we got this online tech. We think it's going to be great, but we want to try it with a few thousand people before we turn it loose on opening day, and then if there's a problem, we'll know about it in advance. We can fix it. So it worked out great. We figured out a lot of issues, and they were actually able to figure out something really good to make it even better than it was when they started. So the online had good reviews from a lot of the people in the beta, and then basically, a little taunting there from Drake, who was waiting till people went back.
This is level 3?
This is level 3. It's slightly interesting. Basically, it turns all the opponents into zombies, but unlike some of the other level 3s, they can hit you. They can hit Drake. You have control of the character, so they can still move around.
Oh, that's cheap, man.
Yes, level 3 is very strong. Level 3 is basically you're guaranteed multiple kills unless you're totally get skunked.
So that happens no matter what. Like, how do you get hit by that?
So a level 3, they cannot avoid. Like, the only way to stop a level 3 from acting. Oh, now Hayachi called out Kuma the bear, who's very deadly. Now he's gonna dance as he alphas out. That's a pretty good level 2. We've been tuning that a lot to try and make sure it doesn't get too many kills. I got, I think, 6 kills with that once, which maybe was a little too good. We toned down the bear just a little bit. He's got really smart AI, though.
So pretty much what you're saying, once you get level 3, that's pretty much a free kill.
Level 3 should be a free kill. Against good players, you can easily go a whole match without getting level 3. But with a lot of advanced players, that was a total whiff from Evil Cole there. And they're playing kill limit, it looks like, so. Was that timed or kill? I was not looking at the screen there.
Rip was getting beasted by.
Yeah, he's upset. I like that. Just be like, man,
I think we can
this game is broken.
Get Clockwork up here. To
tag in Mr. Clock.
Tag in Mr. Clock while I actually have to start running.
Gonna get some tournaments going?
I got to start getting into the tournament going so he can
I'll be checking that action out all night. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Seth. Here's Clock.
Hollywood Clock. What are we waiting for? Coming in. I know you were pushing for Thursday. You're like, don't you want to do this on Thursday?
It was just my excuse to come out back and play some Marvel.
Have a work excuse to go out and play some Marvel, play some All-Stars. Yeah. I think they're going to go for it here. It's Clock giving some last-minute notes to Al Yang, also a huge fighting game fan.
I'm just making sure he's doing cool stuff for everyone to see.
Yeah, sometime we got to do like a little demo where we go into like training room and just show people what's up with some of the combos and just like off the wall, because that's one of the things I was talking or I gestured at briefly with Alex earlier, was just talking about like the thing I mentioned was in Marvel, like Marvel has static hit stun like this game does, but there's a lot of things that you call like pickups. If someone drops a combo or does a reset or something, like you can find a way to pick up a combo in an interesting situation. And a lot of Marvel tech is built around like how to get an interesting pickup off of whatever setup it might be. In this game, I think one of the things that I find most interesting, and it provides a really interesting learning curve for me, sort of at the higher level, is basically your position relative to walls. And obviously the walls aren't just at the edge of the screen. There's walls sometimes depending on the stage.
Yeah, in the middle of
the screen.
Yeah.
And knowing what kind of combo you can do based on your relative screen position. So you know if you can eject somebody off the wall, they're going to bounce. You know, like Kratos, like there's a lot of slick Kratos combos you can do. But I've started now doing a lot of just ejects to knock people off the wall with square, knock them off the wall and then pick it up with a launch and go from there. You can do all sorts of interesting stuff with basically some of the not stage interaction, but basically just knowing your relative position.
Right. And what's interesting is a lot of the characters, Raiden, for example, he can change his combo midway depending on what's happening. So, if you're air comboing someone with like square, if you see someone down below who's trying to interrupt you, you can cancel it right away into down triangle.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And you gotta have that kind of situational awareness. So this is a game. I mean, one of the things I love a lot in fighting games is space control and just that sense of like having a good sense of the space and where people are and what's possible in that situation, that's super important to me in this game. Like having a sense of where everybody is, how much meter they have, so tracking whether is this guy going for a level 3, what's going on here, is he almost to a level 2, okay, I better try and throw that guy, whatever it might be.
I'm a big fan of adaptation and making stuff up on the fly kind of thing.
Yes, which is why we're always fun to watch in Marvel. But
and it's interesting to know too that a lot of the supers in this game, we just saw Sackboy's level 2 super. There are some supers that are extremely flexible in that you activate them and there's still like another step to do.
Yes, so that's a good point too for anybody that's unfamiliar with the game. Is it's not, some are fire and forget it, right? Or it's a fixed animation or whatever, but obviously even Drake's level 1, Sackboy's level 2. Sackboy is basically motion to control his hot coals. He can aim them basically anywhere on the screen.
And so in a 2v2 situation, one of the strategies might be is for Sackboy's partner to kind of round up the opponents into a position where Sackboy could get the double kill.
Exactly.
Get his level 2.
Yeah, you sort of try and bait them in there or knock them closer together or whatever.
Yeah, speaking of Sackboy, you'll see Sackgirl on the right. A big part of her play style is kind of chilling on the side like Colonel Raddick does.
Yes.
And just throwing like a ton of projectiles. And he has escape routes. He has the fan to keep him out.
Yeah, he's got that panel on the ground there. It's basically electrified, so anybody who's approaching has to deal with that.
Yeah, and he can confirm off of that too if they get hit by it.
And the fan, of course, blows those projectiles at a greater speed. Oh, nice. He's sniped from back there.
Yeah.
And he's also got the bounce pad and his teleport escape, so he basically can go through that little the infinity symbol there. Yeah, he can go through if they're getting too close to him like they did there. He just hop through the teleport, which he can set up anywhere he wants on the screen. Right there is a good get out of jail free card. So if you're getting too close to Sackboy and getting blown up, he can just teleport to get out of the way.
Yeah, and it's instant too, and he could stick it anywhere he wants on the screen. So he could do. He could jump up and then use the bounce pad to get higher and then set the teleporter right there, so it's difficult for an opponent to destroy the teleporter.
Yeah, and you'll notice also, he got caught by the Hachi there.
Nice.
Good, smart stuff there. But, I can't even remember. I get distracted by what's going on in the game.
So, Sackboy's going for his level 3. It's one of the more powerful level 3s.
Oh, it's super strong. I think, that thing is really good.
Yeah.
And you see Sackboy struggling up close. Hayachi is obviously a much stronger up close character.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, he's got it. So he's on the ground. This level 3 is ridiculous. It puts everybody in bubbles. It also puts a huge amount of items into bubbles. So the ones that are not filled by a face, which are one of your opponents, are filled with AP. So he can actually come out of this level 3 with a good amount of AP. He didn't really go for that much of it there, but there's, as you know, there's tons of great items in those bubbles. So he can end up his level 3 where he has a good item and a healthy amount of AP to start over again.
Yeah, and also on that super, just because your opponent does level 3 super doesn't mean you've lost control or whatever. Like in Sackboy's level 3 super, you have a little bit of control.
You're still floating around in your bubble. You're hosed, but you're not completely dead. And good smart teamwork is even though so if you're in two bubbles, you can sort of drift apart.
Right.
You and your teammate, so he has to move further to try and kill you.
Exactly.
So there's little stuff like that you can do, and obviously in other supers like Kratos is level 3, you have complete control of your character.
Yeah.
So Kratos obviously has huge advantages. He's very deadly in that mode, but I was able to skunk a Kratos who shall go unnamed completely. Fired off his level 3 on me in 1v1 and did not get a single kill. I felt really good about that. I was able to avoid it completely. So
something that I'm noticing of players that are getting more familiar with the game is it's something that we haven't really touched upon so much in free-for-all and obviously in 2v2, but there's a certain amount of teamwork when it comes to if someone, for example, like Drake has his level 3 and he uses it, everyone wants to keep him from getting, so many kills.
Right.
So you want to gang up on him and kind of use your attacks to stun lock him. And the same thing with Kratos level 3. It's best to split up so that Kratos players...
Yeah, when people are running towards me, I'm like, get off me, bro.
Yeah.
Now he's going to go for us because we're all clumped up over here.
Yeah.
You want to get him out of there. So smart stuff, even when you're put in a disadvantageous situation. Even if you're going to get killed, because getting killed is not the end of the world, of course. It's about total kills, not any individual kill.
Right.
If you can avoid it for long enough, then by the time you come back in and respawn, the super will have lost so much time. It's like burning X Factor. Basically, you're maybe going to get hurt, but if you can minimize that, that'll really help you in the long run with some smart play and some good dodges. And, of course, as the supers go up in strength, it gets harder and harder to avoid them.
Yeah, you can build up to level 1, level 2, or level 3, each more powerful than the last. It's meter management, so if you want to gamble it on the level 1, Big Daddy, for example, his level 1 is really tricky to use.
It's tough.
It's one of the only supers that travels in like this downward arc, but at the same time, it's kind of slower to start. It's less straightforward than some of the other level 1s.
Right. His level 2 is pretty standard, where he'll power up and become basically have a charge that can kill you. You can use it in multiple directions. And also the little burst fire sort of locusts that appear around him.
Yeah, so for Bioshock fans, during his frenzy, his plasmid attacks, they turn into insect swarm.
Right.
And you can aim them up, down, forward, or just have them surround his body. So a lot of those supers that where you churn into like a different state, your controls will completely change. So a character like Jack, his level 3, just getting to level 3 is cool now, but you really have to be able to control his character.
Yeah, and some of them are sort of autopilot kind of supers, and others are very skill based, and the good players will be able to,
net multiple kills. Yeah, tons of kills.
If you don't know what you're doing, you could be in trouble. I like Big Daddy, so I started as a Big Daddy player, and I've moved away from him a little bit as I've become more interested in a lot of the other characters, but I really like where he ended up in terms of the overall game design. He has super armor on almost all of his square attacks. So that makes him quite strong, and also his foot speed is obviously slow, but he's got that charge, which also has super armor, which I think it's been getting less and less super armor because it was really, like 90 points of super armor or something.
What happened was before he didn't have super armor on his square attacks, but he had huge armor on that charge, the forward triangle, and the down triangle.
Right.
Yeah, it was to balance that out. They give to make his squares more useful. They give the super armor to all the square attacks, so it gives you if someone's like in your face, he's a slower character obviously, but you use that square attack to interrupt their attack, and you can combo it into up triangle, which is his drill.
Yeah. He's got actually a lot of pretty cool combos now. I like the way he ended up. Like there's some interesting stuff and like adjustments you can make mid combo, like depending on what's happening.
Yeah, a good combo starter that he has is the air forward triangle. It's a move you're probably going to see a lot of. It's an aerial version of that charge attack, but what happens is he goes at a 45-degree angle, and it's 2 hits, and after that second hit, you can either combo with a melee attack, or you can press forward circle, which just shocks him, and then you can continue from there.
Yeah, there's interesting setups there.
On the screen, you're seeing Dante's level 3. All of his attacks become lethal, and he can get multiple kills, more than the 3-kill limit, because they respawn and his attacks are also lethal. His triangle attacks, which is Ebony and Ivory, they turn particularly deadful during his level 3.
Devil trigger, basically, puts into that mode. Sweet Tooth with the whiff there. Yeah. I think we're playing some new players against some very experienced players. We should get like some all Superbot matches or something like that.
Yeah, in a bit we're going to run some Superbot 2v2s.
Yeah, I don't know how much time we'll have, so we want to check that out hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah.
But
yeah, characters that you saw, Dante just activated the Infinite Avoidance, meaning that he got a combo that just did a ton of AP, which it'll stop after a while, but you get an AP bonus for even reaching that threshold.
Yeah.
Dante's definitely a character, combo-heavy character, where he's really easy to pick up, like all of our characters, really easy to pick up, but he has a pretty complicated cancel system. As you can see, he's canceling his squares into triangles, and he tried to finish with the... oh, wow.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to finish with the up circle.
He's got a quick throw on Radic there. Oh, he's trying to throw...
Yeah. Another thing that having to go back to when we were talking about teamwork when it comes to free-for-all games, especially, is if some guy is going for his level 3, then everyone might want to either gang up on him or use throws to eject AP out of him. Like there's a certain strategy to not only looking out for yourself, but paying attention to what's going on in the match, as a whole. There's a lot more to think about than just your kill and death ratio.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot to track, and relative meter, and remembering what's possible with every different meter level.
Right.
Nice.
See,
but Big Daddy, I think, ended up in a pretty interesting place with super armor and powerful up close. So another interesting sort of unique game type that I like.
Yeah, he has
a unique play style.
Yeah, he has this interesting style where he's a heavy hitter up close, but he has these plasmid attacks, which are these trap style attacks where he freezes you, he shocks you, fires you up, all that stuff to lure the opponent in.
Yeah, I was really happy with the tornado up circle. That ended up really good. It's It gives him a nice space control, like right above like that critical sort of the 45-degree angle sort of out from your forehead is a really important area of attack. because obviously you've got the ground and horizontal attacks, but a lot of characters come in with those traditional kind of jump-in angles, and having something to control that. But it's balanced out because he shouldn't be able to have a lot of really strong anti-air or anything.
Of course
like
not.
And of course, there's no air blocking in this game either. We should say you have a dodge in the air. What is that? Is it 16 frames in the air as well?
I want to say it's 12 frame.
Is it so it's shorter in the air even than it is as a roll on the ground?
I don't off the top of my head.
I remember where it was, and then it's been moving around. But
it's enough to dodge super. So for example, Toro, his level 2, that big old star that comes from the sky. If you see it coming, you can react to it.
You can jump and get in the air.
If you time it just right, you can jump, air dodge it, and you're.
That's a very strong level 2. Because it's got such a huge burst on it. But it is dodgeable. So if you're not caught in the middle of something else,
it's kind of like a clutch moment type of thing,
right.
where it's coming. Yeah, the screen even pans out for you. It's
that's
coming.
what's so fun, and one of the things I really love about the super metagame, because we were talking about that earlier. Because every time anybody hears about the only kill with supers, they're like, I don't know if I like the sound of that. But in action, I totally believe in it. But I really love the metagame that starts when somebody has the super and you know exactly what they're trying to set up, and you're like, I know. I know that you know that I know. So it's like I know what you're trying to do, man. So like
you'll have these characters like Radic and Spike, where their level 2 is kind of like this straight shot.
Yeah.
So you'll notice how players' behavior change. Like you see they get the level 2, you'll see them kind of creeping to the left side of the screen or the right side of the screen. That's one of the I've had a few people ask me if we'll allow. Scores to show in time free-for-all, and the way I like to think of it personally is I like to think of it in poker, whereas you can't see what everyone else's cards have. Because basically, if you have a score down there, it's basically communication. You're being the score is being communicated to you. But what I prefer, is when someone feel like they'll get 3 kills. And they start playing differently because they want to sit on top of their lead.
Exactly.
And it's another form of communication.
Yes.
And so instead of the score being communicated to me through a number, it's being communicated to me through this guy's playstyle is changing.
Exactly. And you can read a lot from basically what people are trying to do. And again, I also like the exciting reveal at the end of a match. Sometimes you're not totally sure. You're like,
there's a tension.
I know I killed that guy twice, or I know that I know I got 4 kills and maybe 2 deaths or something. Right. But I know that other guy got like maybe 3 kills. But maybe if he had no deaths, then I'm still gonna I could lose or whatever.
If once you get a feel for the game, you play it for a bit, you get a sense of who's winning, who's losing.
Yeah.
So like if I see Heihachi activated his level 2, he probably has a decent number of kills.
Right, but even if you're an experienced player, like you don't have perfect knowledge, you're not always totally sure, and that creates interest. But again, if you disagree, you can turn it on. It's a toggleable option. So if you want score on, of course, you can totally do that.
Yeah, as you can see right now, we're playing with the score showing.
Right. Well, this is also a kill limit match, right? So in kill limit, it is shown.
So this is one of the stages that I don't think people have seen too much of. This is the Columbia stage. Yeah, we have the Bioshock and Twisted Metal mashup going on. It's kind of a pretty standard stage. It's not too big. The hazards. I want to mention about the hazards is that above all, we have the option to turn off hazards, of course. But the thing with the hazards in our game is that they're not so much random. Rather, we wanted to have them be more of a strategic kind of use.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So you'll see the tell when the hazard's about to happen. So you either want to put your opponent in a disadvantageous position, depending on that hazard that's coming up. There'll always be a tell or a hit or something that the hazard is about to happen.
Yeah, they're not random at all. So like after you play the stages for a couple of times, you'll be able to read them. And like Hades for one, and people know that Hades stage where Hades is in the background.
Yeah, people have seen it a million times.
You really see him wind up. So one you'll get a sense for when it's about to happen in a stage anyway, because it's not random; it's a consistent time.
Right.
But you really get a feel because you really see that warm up coming. Yeah. So it's just a matter of taking advantage of that.
Yeah, and taking advantage of it. There's different stage hazards have different things that they do, obviously. So if you see Hades, about to do his hazard on like a few of your opponents, it actually stuns you instead of ejects AP out of you. So if you have your level 1 stocked up, you're going to save it up.
If you see a bunch of people set up in that, you can follow it up and get some easy kills.
Yeah, so a strategy for the Hades stage is to save it for your level 1 and then just strictly try to catch people who are getting hit by Hades. If they get stunned, you walk up to them and you score your kill.
That was good stuff by Sir Daniel. I guess that's one of the Superbot guys playing if I had to. He's been doing some pretty smart stuff. So what he did there was actually... he did like a quick little series of sword attacks on the ground. Sir Daniel's one of the slower, sort of more deliberate characters in the game.
Right.
And he launched him into a mini launch, but then he let him reset. That was smart stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah. Drake is, you got to keep your eye on Drake. He's got a level 1 that goes a long ways.
Yeah.
But he sort of basically reset him by letting him recover in the air and took the opportunity to fire off his level 2, which is sort of a fountain that shoots straight up above his head and then has projectiles that track back.
Right.
But let him recover and then put him into a situation where he was basically forced to block. So he put him into a reset that didn't lead to more direct hits, but it led into a block state while he had the chance to send the super out in the air.
Right.
That was good. That was really smart stuff. That happened very quickly, but yeah, you get those sort of reset opportunities. Of course, you can go for infinite avoidance if you have a really good combo. You can try and get as much AP as you can, or you can try and put him. Sometimes I don't want to eject him if I know I've got somebody,
exactly.
and I'm a character that is really good sort of over my head control. I like to let him linger at about, I'll do like 90 AP and then sit there and try and harass them before they can get back to the ground.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see when players get really good at the game. There's a lot of potential for frame traps in this game, especially in the air. There'll be situations where if players get their timing down tight, the only thing you'll be able to do is air dodge out of the way.
Yeah.
And of course, then you can bait out the air dodge. You're vulnerable after the air dodge recovers.
And again, the thing, what makes me really hopeful about this is I think, one, you'll get some people who are new to the fighting game scene into a game like this. But the thing that I've found that I really like a lot is I can pick up every character in the game really fast. And even though I'm not like Jack, I'm not like a good Jack player or anything like that, but I know how to play Jack instantly because I can do all the moves right from the beginning.
Yeah.
So then it's just a matter of figuring out what's the smart stuff to do. And it's also like, unlike in Marvel, like you'll see someone do some smart stuff, but you're like, lightning loop, man. I don't think I'm not going to be able to pull that off. So even though you're like, well, Zero seems like kind of my style, but you know that technique is just sort of totally beyond your like technical ability or something like that.
Yeah.
This game, you don't have that.
What's cool about this game is that people will approach fighting games and they feel they're really intimidated. I have to memorize all these moves.
Right.
Some of the 3D games have hundreds of moves. And in our game, no command is more difficult than a direction plus a button.
Yeah.
So every character is really, they all play very unique, but at the same time, they're all easy to pick up.
Yeah, the playstyle. But the thing that I love is because a lot of times I get what I call inspired by like certain players or certain style.
Sure.
Like, and this has happened to me in the beta now 3 times, where I see somebody do something cool, and then I want to try and do it. So like in Marvel, I see people do cool things all the time, but I'm like, nah, I know, I just know I'm not going to be able to do it. That would take like, that'd be like maybe a month from now I'll be able to do that, right? But I know I won't be able to do it. But in this game, I can steal technology from people like really fast, and then it becomes like all about like just being smart and figuring out like when the right time to do this, or how is that guy setting me up for this move.
Right. So I think Art's playing Ratchet. You'll see Ratchet doing a lot of really cool stuff. He has these Tesla coils with down circle. He changed into Ratchet right now.
So that's his level 2 basically, and he can create those bubbles of slow that will slow his opponents down and then kill with the net swing. Oh, just barely missed it there.
Yeah. Again, I was saying he has these Tesla coils which use down and circle, and you can set up to 2 coils down, and as long as they're close enough, they can't be too far. You see him doing it right now.
Right. It basically creates that wall.
Yeah, and so players, if they touch it, they get shocked. They go into the shock reaction. You can combo them after that. His level 1, very powerful.
It's so good. It stays out for a long time. It's active for like 45 frames, I think.
It's really easy to punish, though. At the same time, just pop
right.
behind
No, that's true.
Ooh, good
got
position
him.
for the Drake level 2.
Double Drake here, team. I think Double Drake is a really strong team.
Actually,
you get those barrel. I like Drake a lot because I was an old school Guile player that would eventually I'd run out of patience because I like to rush down too much.
Okay.
So I would switch, but I really like Guile. Always have really loved Guile. And Drake, I think, is sort of our Guile.
He's the Guile character in our
Yeah,
game?
because, I mean, you get to kick out that barrel. The barrel is a huge part of his strategy. It's just his neutral circle. And you kick out that barrel, and then you follow it in. And the barrel can set up combo possibilities. If you see someone trying to go past it, you can explode it by shooting it.
It's crowd control.
Yeah, total crowd control. And just basically it's throw the sonic boom, follow it in.
Yeah. He's definitely one of those characters. There's a certain archetype of character that's in this game that I didn't see too much of other fighting games I play, where you have these quasi mid-range characters like Ratchet, characters like Jack, characters like Drake.
Yeah.
Where they don't want to be at maximum distance like Sakurai or Radic, but they don't want to be too close either because they can't really hang melee melee style with some of the
They
other.
have a little bit of melee. They're not doomed, but it's not the strongest.
Yeah, and so you'll notice these Drakes. I don't know who's playing Drake over here. Yeah, I think Art's playing Drake, and they'll want to stay at like mid range and kind of like attack. We have this thing called the combat ball when we're
not a formal term. It's
yeah,
just sort of
it's basically where the action's happening.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have these mid-range characters who their main style of play is kind of put hitboxes and active hits into the combat ball.
Right.
So a character like Drake, he sees the combat ball, he wants to kick barrels into it.
Right, and then follow up whatever happens.
Yeah, Jack wants to shoot his drone out, start shooting. And that's another move that a lot of characters in the game have. Well, a few characters in the game have where they'll shoot these. They'll have like helpers, or like they'll shoot like a drone. Like Jack shoots his drone out, it starts shooting for him. You can kind of forget about it. It is destructible, but it just gives him an extra boost of AP for anyone who's in that area. Same thing with Ratchet too. He can summon Mr. Zircon, kind of chills behind him.
Exactly, it's like a little assist.
Yeah, and you can have him out all the time. It's destructible again, but nice.
Great read there by Evil Cole. He smelled the roll, the wake up roll, and basically predicted exactly his position and fired off the super to catch it.
Yeah, so dodging, it's like CVS2, it's vulnerable towards the beginning and the end.
Always throwable.
Yeah, always throwable as well. So you have players.
But vulnerable. It's move invulnerable for 16 frames at the start.
Yeah, and so what you'll see is some players who are kind of familiar with the game, but haven't had too much time with it. They'll block an attack and then they'll roll behind the guy, and then the guy that was originally attacking, he'll do the same thing, and they're just rolling behind each other. Where they could have just thrown or something, it would have taken advantage of that situation right away. Oh, nice.
Good stuff there, and I like that they've basically set up. We had Evil Cole and Sweet Tooth there basically set up like a little fort at the left side of the screen.
Right.
Evil Cole bombing on him with the grenades, Sweet Tooth laying down the mine to prevent the ground approach, and that's where you start to get some really interesting kind of emergent behavior.
Yeah, we have these character styles that are so different from each other, so it's really interesting to have these two characters mixed together and see what the synergy's like.
Yeah, and one of the other things I really love about this game is, again, like, sort of space control characters, whether it be like a Dalsim or a Guile, or like in Marvel, one of the characters I really liked working on in Ultimate was Dormammu. We tried to put like more traps, more zoning into the game.
Okay.
This game is, I wouldn't say a huge, it has space control is critically important, like in having a good sense of awareness.
Definitely.
And holding interesting spaces. It's not about just keep away or rush down.
It's about control.
But it is about control. So this is a game that I really, really love the space control aspects of it. And I think that's why I've been having such a good time with it, is because it's just one of those things that's one of my favorite things in fighting games, is that sense of controlling space. And like, this character has a really good vertical column. This character has a good 45-degree or angled column.
So let's put these two characters together.
Exactly.
And, cover all our bases.
Yeah.
I want to mention that after this match, we will be having a short break, but we will be coming back for more All-Stars.
More All-Stars. Oh, I thought we were... I'll watch some Street Fighter as well. But yeah, I'm having a good time with the All-Stars and liking the teamwork here from... Looks like Green Team is up pretty solidly here, because I think those are our vets versus...
Yeah, we'll get some more Super Bots to play. We have Edma in the house tonight.
Edma plays a very cheap Good Cole. He's a character... I didn't like Good Cole because I had a hard time getting kills with him.
Okay.
His level 2 is really beefy, but yeah, that's ridiculous, level 2.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I didn't have a strong sense of like dominance or whatever. But the thing that Ed really pointed out to me, and this is another angle that I hadn't even really been considering at the beginning when I was first starting, was what he's good at is avoiding getting killed.
Yeah, so, that's the number one thing that he's good at. He's probably the best in the game.
Which is, again, like an interesting dynamic for characters, right, that I hadn't really experienced before coming from sort of the Capcom background, was this guy, everybody gets killed and everybody gets kills.
Right.
So his strength isn't necessarily racking up huge amount of kills, although his level 2 is strong and he can get kills, for sure, but he doesn't rack up like that. He's not like a Kratos, he's just like a kill machine or whatever. But he's super good at avoiding getting killed. Yeah, he's always in these irritating spots, and I was like, that's awesome, because we can build characters around that whole strategy of like, yeah, I'm really good. Sly is another one that has, again, like, not the highest kill output necessarily, but really good at avoiding certain bad situations.
It's another type of defense in a game like this, where defense doesn't necessarily mean just like fending off attacks. It also means avoiding, getting killed yourself. Because you'll have games where, Cole only scored 4 kills, but in our game, 4 kills is 2 points. Getting killed is -1 point. So if Cole has 4 kills and only 1 death against his Kratos, who has like 7 kills but has like 5 deaths because he has to get in there, then
wins,
the Cole's
yeah.
going to win. Yeah, exactly.
All right, we got to go to break, so let's send it out, and we'll be back shortly.
Yo, what's up, stream? We're back. My name is Daniel Clockwork.
My name is Seth Killian.
And we are here at Super Arcade in Walnut, California at Wednesday Night Fights, showcasing our new game, which will release November 20th, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
There we go.
Pre-order it now. Pre-order
Sound
it today.
professional. Yeah.
That's my marketing spiel.
There you go.
So
we're totally not hanging out. We're
exactly.
we're working.
exactly. So we're gonna have a few developer-only matches coming up after this next match finishes. We have several Superbots here.
We got a lot of the combat design staff here.
Sure.
A lot of the character designers. I think you got their number though mostly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, please.
Of course.
We still haven't done our 1v1 though, so we got to do some of that later.
So yeah, you'll notice we're playing on San Francisco right now.
So this is only one Superbot playing here, I think.
Yeah, we have a Ray playing. I'm not sure what character she's playing.
I don't know either. Let's see if we can guess.
I would say she is Sir Daniel.
Yeah, I would guess so too.
But we have
she's just getting blown up right now though, so.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play a few 2v2 matches, kill limit 5. Also gonna show you guys a few 1v1 matches, stock 3. Some of the options and settings that we like to play with at the office.
Yeah.
We have weekly tournaments at the office. They get pretty heated. I hear people in the office in the back screaming. And we want to show you guys what some of those matches are like between us.
Yeah, and one of the good signs. So I'm at the Superbot offices a fair amount, and going by there and seeing not only the whole team sitting around and playing the game for fun, like just on the off time, like actually playing, but
totally.
Just even walking through and watching the QA guys who have to play this game all the time as a job.
Guys.
And there's guys who have to play online to test that and play all the time. And even they're still, like, you just walk through and they're still getting hyped. Like, even though it's their job and they have to do it, like, they're still like, yeah, well, I'm not going to say what they say. They say some messed up stuff. But they're having a good time and, like, yelling and get that. Yeah, we've also been doing a bunch of tournaments around the, we did one out in New York Comic Con. And even though there were people that hadn't really played before, like, the room was getting hyped. Like, the final match, everyone was, like, yelling and getting into it. So that, to me, is, like, the good sign. And, like, also, like, while the whole beta was running, like, I'd be at work, and, I usually play some matches with the guys at work, and then I go home and play for about 3 hours.
We've already been using our telemetry system in the beta. We can see exactly what characters people are picking, and what moves they're using, if these moves are successful or not. And I want people to know that when we're using this data, we're not just seeing, like, which move, for example, Kratos down square or whatever. Like, we don't just like, oh, well, he's using it 100 times, or this move is 100% successful. That's not just a tell to nerf the move right away. Rather, we go in and investigate exactly what's going on.
Yeah, you've got like a PhD on the case, like a PhD in there.
We have someone dedicated solely to the telemetry.
They got some big nerds like looking at the numbers, and then on the as well, you got the numbers, but then you've also just got your gut. So like that's how we did it old school. Always at Capcom is just you play a lot and you see what's working, what's not, what needs tuning. And you guys got it both ways. You got hardcore numbers. You've got like everybody's gut from the team.
Sure.
And then you've also got the commitment to post-launch doing whatever needs to be done in terms of tweaks. I think they're eager sometimes to do a lot of tweaks, so hopefully we'll be doing well, obviously bugs and things like that will be fixed, but apart from that, you want to let it ride, because obviously if everything like in a Marvel or whatever that looked game-breaking in Marvel 2 or Marvel 3 for that matter got nerfed, like you wouldn't get that new tech about like how to avoid it and like what to really go how to really go to the next, take it to the next level.
Right.
We got some alternate costumes in here.
Yeah, if you see in the middle of the screen here or on the right side of the screen, Al Yang, he's one of our combat designers. He is actually Sackboy's combat designer. So you see Sackboy has this
he's always repping Sackboy.
Yeah, he really wants to show you guys some Sackboy. And I want to note that we have the pre-order costume bonus. Costumes in effect tonight. You got a Sackboy, a Sackgirl, Big Daddy, baseball head.
And another Big Daddy. And the Sack Sweet Tooth team is Sweet Tooth wearing his that's from a Starhawk alternate costume. He showed up in there. But it's an interesting dynamic. This stage is not the greatest stage for Runaway, but Sackboy's always trying to post up in that corner.
And
nice. Yeah. Got the eject there quick, and I can get that fan going. The fan's fan has physics on there all the time to get the projectile and keep it out.
Keeping Big Daddy out.
Yeah.
He just needs one hit though to get in there. What's interesting is that there's actually some characters who really excel in team environment. Sackboy's one of them because
for sure.
Yeah, not only does he have this this keep away style, but the things that he drops, like you see the bounce pad on the bottom left hand corner, also his fan, his teammate can utilize those things
exactly
to their advantage. So Big Daddy, he doesn't really jump as high as some of the other characters, but if he sees one of Sackboy's bounce pads, he can really get some air.
Can use the bounce pad. He can also take advantage of some of Sackboy's good defensive options, like the electric trap on the ground.
Right.
And Sackboy, again, he just basically wants the ideal setup for Sackboy. You post up, you drop your electric trap on the ground, you get your fan going, start firing off the projectiles, and then in a best case scenario, you've also got your teleport set up at the top of the screen somewhere, so if they're coming in on you, you got a way to get out of dodge for free, and that can be very frustrating to a teammate that's trying to...
It's like level 2. Oh, he couldn't get
no way out of that one for him.
Yeah.
Rolling. That one's very hard to roll through. Like once he posts up on that, but he did only get one kill off it, so that was a level 2. So again, that's what it is about meter management. A lot of these moves are very strong, and you can definitely always get a kill off. They're avoidable, but with a level 2, level 3, you can always score at least one kill off that if you're playing smart.
Right.
But it's not always just about getting a kill. It's about maximizing your meter and finding a way to get a lower percentage level 1 and finding a way to get that score. Because if you can get a good number of kills with your level 1 and level 2, that's where you're going to make more money than you will by just going for a level 3. It's basically a much more efficient way of killing one.
Oh, 2 level 2s. Oh,
dueling level 2s.
Counters it.
Beautiful. Sackboy using his level 2 to counter Big Daddy's own level 2.
And you notice he was sticking with Big Daddy's level 2 because this is a stage where Big Daddy gets a lot of mileage out of his level 2.
Exactly, because it's a smaller stage and it's harder to avoid.
Yeah, so that's part of the strategy is if you're playing on the stage against Big Daddy, he's going for his level 2. So if you have a super that's particularly good against that Frenzy level 2, in this case Sackboy's own level 2 with the hot coals, you want to save up for that and make sure you're oh jeez, caught by the hazards.
And you can of course
nice.
Sackboy taking him out with the level 2.
Cool.
Good stuff. Sack Girl dancing, happy. Beautiful stuff. Big Daddy's rubbing their heads. Double Big Daddy team is rough.
Yeah, it's definitely a all or nothing team.
Yeah, which I like. I like that going for it. Kind of just like this is our play. We're gonna make it stick or not. Yes. They couldn't pull it off that time. But again, really interesting team synergies, and you see like different there's sort of obvious strategies like play a harassment character and play a runaway character, and the runaway will go in there and take his licks. Maybe he's not getting the most kills, but if he lets the runaway character get back and do his thing as part of the team, like the runaway character can end up getting all the kills, doing the workhorse for the team. But your job is just to harass and keep them off of your runaway partner. Things like that. Parappa's really interesting that way because obviously he functions best at a closer to mid-range. Mid-range at the best. He doesn't really have projectiles or anything like that, but he does have good motion, ability to close the distance, and he can also hang back if he needs to and build a little AP by throwing down that boombox.
Yeah, I feel Parappa is also another character who's really he's a real team player. For several reasons. One, he can chill back and farm AP by himself, or if you knock the opponents away, both you and your teammate can farm AP. And also, he's one of those characters where in a 2v2 situation, you might want to save it for his level 3, because you could use it to counter whatever supers that the other characters might have.
That's in a team situation, that's one of the crummiest feelings is like you're trying to set up your level 2, like with Radic or whatever, which is a really great horizontal column that runs across the whole screen. But it's got some startup on it, so once they fire that off, that could be a good kill. But if you see the Parappa on the other team camping on his level 3, when you fire off your super, he's just going to counter it with his own level 3. And eliminate it, just kills everything that's happening on the screen. And so that's basically, he's not just getting his kills with that, he's also wasting your AP. So you're now really hurt. Your kill potential has gone way down.
And then from then, the strategy comes like, what are you going to do about that? You're going to go in and you're going to throw him, you're going to try to score like quick level 1 hits on his partner. It really just depends on the characters, the players, and the style that they want to play. Cole is usually like a mid to long range character, but you can see he's kind of going. Oh, he's not going in anymore. He's staying at that mid range. You'll see. One of my favorite moves with Cole is the redirect rocket. So you press up triangle to shoot up a ball that goes in the sky, and when you start shooting the neutral triangle bolts, as you see he's doing right now, the redirect rocket will shoot down on whoever you're aiming at.
Yeah, it'll track those electric blasts,
and it's really fast.
Yeah, and it's got a good hit stun, good eject. And it's very, like, it's again, Cole gets that out there,
nice.
and then it's something you have to deal with and contend with.
Yeah,
You
Spike's
can
level
dodge it, but
Spike's level 1 isn't the most easiest thing to use. It's a very short-range super. It's not active for very long. But you know, as you get more familiar with the game, you'll be able to pick your spots where your level 1 is going to work, where it's not going to work, where it'll be more risky or less risky to use it. And then you know, part of the meter management comes from whether I want to risk it on this level 1. Either take what I like to do is I'll basically. My whole plan is I'm saving them for level 3, to be honest, and then from there I'll pick places for where
if you can get a good score with the level 1,
or the level 2. Otherwise, you know, the level 3 is golden. Yeah, level 3s are very dominant supers, worth going for depending on the characters and the players, of course, and the stage even. Some stages are higher scoring or higher AP stages than others. A stage like Dojo, where there's not really a lot of room to run around, those are going to be, you know, very high AP stages.
Right. Nowhere to run.
Yeah, exactly.
Spike with that RC car. That RC car is super. Oh, he got him with the double kill. Ooh. That was so smart.
If you notice, Evil Cole, he saved up his flame punch, got the crumple on Prappa, then used his level 1 and threw him at his opponent.
And that was great stuff. He made the adjustment at the last minute. You can direct which way you throw the opponent. And he saw him camped out in the other corner and chucked his opponent, chucked the 1 kill he had guaranteed over into the corner to pick up that double kill.
So that's
very smart stuff.
Yeah, that's huge.
And again, it's super. It's generally speaking, it's hard to hit confirm. Oh, level 2, everybody's going down. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, someone got away. I think he might have been.
Did he knock him down?
Yeah, he might have been invincible at the time. Oh, gets him back. So green team, looking like they have a lot of work to do. Oh, jeez.
Spike had that set up into level 1 there, but he got knocked out, saved by his partner. Smart play. Spike's a very interesting character. He's really strong up close with a few good mid-range options, but his teleport also makes him very mobile and sort of irritating, like to try and pin down. But he's got some really interesting combos. He's got a good guard break move that you can set up if you find somebody blocking into a battle ball, and it also has really good priority, so you can just sort of fire into the hole there.
Yeah, he's one of those characters that you can play him a lot of different styles. He can, you know, he has really, oh, nice.
There it was.
Really functional square melee attacks, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of his moveset really hammers home that mid-range style that we were talking about. You know,
yeah, he's got some of the best melee, but again, to really get his stuff going, he wants to be at that,
Yeah, he has
basically
the RC
about
car,
like 3 or 4 meters away.
The RC car, he has the banana ring, a lot of different moves that he can utilize for a lot of different styles of play.
We saw Spike getting his AP ejected there. Again, the items in the game are unblockable. They don't kill you, but they will. They all have different effects, right?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different effects, but a lot of them will knock the AP out of your opponents.
Yeah. So there's 3 ways to have AP ejected out of you. You can 4 ways. One, of course, is throws, and mind you, the more AP that you have, the more. Oh, nice. Get someone to level 1. The more AP you have, the more AP that gets ejected out of you.
Right.
So one of them's throws.
15%, right?
Yeah, I believe so, off the top of my head. And another way is AP ejection from stage hazards.
Right. So
it's really advantageous to get your opponent into those really bad positions with the stage hazards when you see that they're coming. Another way is certain supers, like Evil Cole's level 2, Sackboy's, of course. Oh, excuse me. Off the top of my head, there's another.
Raiden's level 2.
Yeah, Raiden's level 2, exactly, where you'll eject AP out of your
You have a choice. When you fire off the burst that freezes your opponent, you can either go for a fast kill with 1 slash or use the circle button, which will give you a multiple slash. It's a little slower, but it will eject AP.
Right, so you kind of get a head start on your next.
Exactly.
Yeah, your next super. And yeah, it's really important to note that. Again, it's like what we were talking about, where when you know either who's in the lead or if you feel this character is going for his level 3 or his level 2, you really got to get those throws in there. And there's a lot of different kinds of throws. Some eject, some you can combo after.
I was talking about that with Vi earlier.
Okay.
And again, the throws matter a lot more when you're going for level 3 because you're losing 15%. So if I'm at 600 AP going for a level 3, I lose 15%. That's over 100 AP ejected from me off a single throw. So throws become more of a risk to you as you're going for those higher level APs.
Right. And it's not like...
but again, the game's basically built around aggression.
Sure.
You do better trying to build AP, I think, than you will just trying to eject AP. You just have to pick critical times where you're really going to get that advantage from burning the AP from the opponent.
So Sir Daniel, for all you old school PlayStation fans out there, he of course comes from the game Medieval. And he has this really interesting style where if you press neutral triangle, he summons his shield.
Circle.
And, is it circle?
I think it's circle.
Oh, I don't play Sir Daniel too much. But when you summon the shield, the only downside to it really is that it takes a bit for him to pull it out. But once he pulls it out, his shield will absorb projectile attacks. Also, his forward triangle, his dash attack, it'll go through opponents, so you can mow down multiple opponents.
Yeah, it
really
gets a lot of super armor and just basically blows through. It doesn't just bounce off the first opponent it hits. You can mow through everybody.
Right. He's like this. He's this crowd control character where he has these moves that are really meant to take out multiple opponents, build up a lot of AP when he sees a crowd of opponents.
Even his down square, which is just his sweep, hits from the front and from the back.
Right.
So it's really nice crowd control there.
And his level 1, as you saw, it went straight up. You can aim it, up forward, up back, straight up. So it's more of this. It's one of those controllable level 1s that have a little more flexibility than the average level 1.
Exactly, and it's also
Dante going nuts.
Especially useful on stages like this where you have action going on the platforms immediately above the ground. You got to be very aware of Sir Daniel players because that's a perfect place for them to just reach up there and scoop you out for a quick level 1 kill.
And we were talking earlier about tells when certain characters will try to get into a certain position when they have their level 2, for example. So if you'll notice Sir Daniel, he has his level 1 right. Oh no!
Almost rolled through it. That's very difficult to roll through.
So Sir Daniel, as opposed to Radic or Dante, who have these straight going supers, you'll notice once he gets level 2, he's going to try to go to the middle of the screen or under his opponents because his super goes straight up and then it homes.
Yeah.
So you really want to be either under opponents so the blasts get them right away, or in the middle so that the fireballs,
there you go.
They have a lot
that
of
was
time
a direct
to
combo.
Oh, jeez.
So that is a comboable level 2. Oh, Noriko, they're trying to hide behind her.
Oh, got him. You
Scooped
can't
him
hide
out.
there. They still got the explosion. A lot of the supers, it's not just about activating, it's being in a good position to activate them. So Nariko, she could have waited or waited a bit or been on the other side of the screen when she activated that.
Yeah, that was, I think, maybe a little bit of misstep there from Noriko.
Yeah, it was
counter. She landed the counter. Now going straight into the combo. Good stuff.
Oh, here comes
but the stinger.
Oh, the stinger, you avoided it. Nice. You have a very small window to roll out of the way of the stinger. If
That's a really solid level 2. Dante's nice. Ooh. Oh, wow. Noriko, beautiful. And that thing has no hitbox immediately up close. It's just right there around the barrel explosion.
Yeah, it has a very fixed position. So you want to position yourself maybe about 2 or 3 character lengths away from your opponents before you let it rip.
It's difficult to set up that level 1. It is fast. It's got a nice, good speed to it. But again, you have to set them up very carefully. It's beautifully done there.
Yeah, and it has it's one of those level 1s that has actually a pretty. Oh, Dante going nuts. Oh, Dante going nuts. Yeah, it has. Nariko's level 1 has a lot of potential to kill multiple opponents.
Yeah, it's got a good sized hitbox on it, especially for a level 1. Yeah. And Noriko again in there with the counter. So we've got the score at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kill limit game. So I believe we're playing to 5 kill if I'm not mistaken.
The score is 3-2. Green.
Right, and it is cumulative kills, so total team.
Nariko and ooh.
Oh, Sir Daniel trying to set up the level 1, and that's basically a guessing game after he launches you into the air, because you can air recover in 3 directions. You can air recover up, back, or down.
Yeah.
And depending on nice shot from Noriko again, just setting him up, smelling the battle ball, smelling that the opponent was occupied by the teammate and not paying attention, and Noriko in that good position.
Oh, no, they got it back.
Oh, from the backside. Dante with the level 1. So now I think we're going to go not run that one back, but we're going to go into some straight 1v1 action.
We're going to switch to some
And who
1v1.
will stand? Will it be Maj versus Al Yang?
So we got
Maj from combovid.com.
He's actually the lead items designer.
Yes, he just recently implemented the Fusion Ball, which is a late addition to the game. That is a brutal item. It's so some of the item spawns are more rare. That's what we call a purple item.
Yeah.
Basically explodes. It's an explosive ball that explodes into it's like a MIRV. So it blows into I don't know how many little
it blows into a lot.
baby explosion grenades, all of which blow you completely across the screen. It's a ton of fun. I really like that item.
As I said before, on the left, Al Yang is part of our combat design team. He's one of the better players in the office. I'd say he's about on the level as the I can't remember their names. the QA guys, excuse me.
Yeah, he's able to fight.
So just so you guys know, the QA guys, they are the best at this game right now. You know, they play it a lot. Those the QA testers are monsters at this game. Anytime we're at the tournaments, the ladders are usually have the QA guys on top. Really talented at the game. But Al Yang is one of those guys who can really take it to everyone in the office. Art really talented at the game as well. I think he's going with Drake. I think Al's using Evil Cole.
And it looks like they're playing a stock match.
Yeah. So stock match. First two, they got 3 lives.
Yeah, so they've got 3 lives, so it's basically, rather than going for a certain number of kills, it's you run out of, works the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
In 1v1. And again, Drake wants to get that barrel out there. That barrel, basically the Sonic Boom, you notice him following it around the screen. It's basically something the opponent has to contend with, and you can sort of force their hand. Drake also now wants to close the distance a little bit, because he has a very good item. Those Killer Bees cause hit stun, and anytime you hit an attack button, and he throws them, very smart. Usually will cause the item to be ejected from your opponent. Right. That item, no.
Yeah.
I argued with Omar about that one. I was like, man, I want to be able to knock that out of people. That's a very strong item, and basically it turns everybody into a strong, short-range, medium-range melee character.
Yeah, when the Killer Bees were first implemented, I think they were only doing a light reaction, so they weren't too... Oh, nice.
Nice. And there he set that up. So what he's doing there, he's holding down that to charge up that rush punch, and that is a level 1. You can hit confirm into a level 1.
Yeah.
But first you have to take the time to not only charge up that move, but then land it. It's a short-range rush punch. We just saw him fire it off there. So he's looking for that hit. If he can land that hit off that, he can go into a combo or even to a level 1. It's fast enough. And the fish there, that's an item from Uncharted. He uses the fish. The fish generates a huge amount of super armor on it when you have it cocked. But you cannot move when you have the fish cocked out like that. So that's why he's moves in the air with it to try and get close. In 1v1, it's a harder one to pull off.
Yeah.
Oh, set him up.
Oh,
Drake telegraphing his action. Good, quick little pickup combo. Evil Cole, not a huge combo character, but he did a solid little middle one there.
Yeah, he's definitely he's different than regular Cole in that he leans more towards offense than defense.
Yes.
And he has a lot of moves that have
that Superman, very good.
Yeah. And of course he has that mine move, down circle.
He's laying that black little circle on the ground there is a trap that if you run over it, you'll be frozen. And again, he can pick up a level 1 hit confirm off that if he's at the right range.
So we know that Art is Evil Cole because he's using all the items. Art likes using the items because he knows exactly how they work, how much AP they eject.
And that was smart stuff. He got the jumping stun there on Cole and decided to eject some AP against Drake. Because Drake's level 1 in 1v1 is difficult to execute, but his level 2 is basically a guaranteed kill in 1v1 if you're smart with it.
Yeah, so what you'll see is that these guys, they're looking for opportunities to land their level 1. Of course, Evil Cole has landed his twice already, but really once someone gets level 2, the whole game changes. You have to play extremely defensive. You have to be familiar with when your opponent's super, how long it's active, when you can punish it, if you can punish it. What he's looking for to land it. Level 2s are often a lot more easy to combo. Then he's in the corner. He
had it. He let it go.
You'll notice he's staying in that same position.
Yes.
He couldn't get
trying
past
to bait it out, and he baiting the roll. I think the most effective way to actually dodge that is to try and do jump in an aerial dodge very fast because it will pass through you more quickly. Trying to roll through it on the ground, the size of that super makes it very difficult to roll through on the ground.
Rough. You have to be right next to it, and your character has to have a pretty
out of range. And again, you see the Boots of Hermes as an item, and he gets an air dash. So when you hit block in the air, when you're wearing those boots, you get that air dash to really close the distance very quickly.
Yeah,
caught him. Oh, look, he's right on him instantly.
Oh, jeez.
Following it up, harassing him in the air. Fish combos.
We got fish. All right, nice. Drops the fish.
Long John Silver's. I like some fish combo. So he's charging up that rush punch again. Blows straight through the barrel, but did not connect.
Yeah, it's active immediately.
Rolling around. Baited him with the throw, trying to get him a reaction, but then just walked up and threw him again. So in your face.
Yeah, Evil Cole is really dangerous when you have multiple opponents. When you have a free for all or a 2v2, because he could charge up that punch without you even noticing, and just blow it any time. It's active immediately. He
got him with the trap. He got him to run right into it on the ground. He set that up, and it can be sometimes difficult to see under his feet.
Right.
So I think we're going to run it again with a couple more super bots coming in. We'll see. They're looking a little gun shy. They're like, I don't want to get blown up on the stream. Get in there, guys.
Yeah, come on. You're the best at the
game.
game.
No choice.
I want to mention we have Dean Reimer coming up. He's one of our lead combat designers, I believe. On the
or
right.
something, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of our senior combat designers, and he designed, I believe, Drake and Ratchet. He'll probably run to either Drake or Ratchet. Extremely good with these characters. He knows exactly what those characters are capable of.
I picked up a few of my own Drake tips from watching him. I really like Drake.
Yeah. Oh, he's actually picking up Big Daddy.
Wow, interesting.
It'll be interesting to see Big Daddy in a 1v1 situation. They're going with Dojo. They really enjoy Dojo in the 1v1 setting. We have Toro on the left, so Toro is actually a pretty complicated character.
Yeah, he's kind of simple and cute, but he's actually, because he's got the stance changes. So his circle button will change his stance into one of three.
And if for the more astute fighting game fans, they'll notice that each of his stances will mimic certain characters from other fighting games that we're familiar with. Toro's designer, Ray Shen, she's actually here with us tonight. She was really adamant about having that be a thing where fans of the characters that Toro's emulating, they'll be able to recognize that really quick. Ooh,
nice setup. The electric shock. Oh, and a little taunt there. Yeah, we've seen some nice, cute little pickup combos here from Big Daddy. Pretty effective, both starting from the triangle dash and using his super armored square moves.
Toro sticking with his.
There we go. That's a sweep into the uppercut.
Nice.
Into the eject with the drill. Drill attacks mostly on the triangle.
Right. Yeah, so every character has this,
nice.
There's a certain pattern, dichotomy when it comes to their moves. So, we didn't want to just limit it to punches and kicks or light, medium, and heavy. Rather, to really bring these characters to life in this game, we want to make sure that we could hit upon, all the moves that are most iconic to these characters. So, Big Daddy, for example, his square attacks are his fists, triangle attacks are his drills, circle attacks are his plasmids. Parappa, for example, his square attacks are his karate, triangle attacks are his skateboard moves, circle are his music attacks. So every character has like a certain pattern like that when it comes to their attacks. Oh, he's going to do it again?
No, he did level 2. Way too slow. Let's see if
he managed to get away. Dodges it.
Air dodge. No, he's missing. Finally caught him at the very last second. Good
Toro
stuff.
needs to get in there.
Toro also not with a lot of AP either. Not looking good for Toro.
Got a lot of work to do.
And I would have thought, pound for pound, I would have guessed Toro had the advantage in this matchup, but
it seems that,
Big Daddy getting it done. That's a great Oki move right there. The range on that ground pound is enough to catch a lot of rolls on wake up.
Yeah,
very strong.
You just wake up right into it.
Yeah.
I should mention that.
Nice catch. Caught him using the air dodge too soon there and landed right into the super with not really anything he could do in that situation.
So the score is 2-1. Toro still has a lot of work to do.
But he's getting beat up by that item. Spear of Destiny from God of War.
He's ejecting all the AP out of Toro, but Toro brings it back, 50 AP combo.
And again, hassling Big Daddy in the air. Not one of the most mobile characters, and Toro is setting him up. You get a lot of interest, especially in 1v1 in the corner, you get a lot of really interesting air games where he's sort of forced to get in there.
Oh, nice. Interrupts the super. He could have evened up the game right there.
Oh, smart stuff. He tried to set him up into that level 1, but he went to that before, and I think he was ready. Toro was ready for it that time.
So I think Mark feels pretty comfortable with Justice Toro stance. He seems to be sticking with it. And it's still
with the little donkey kick there. Which, again, and we'll notice something here. Well, in Dojo, at this stage of the game, after the walls have sort of flown off, there are no walls, so you won't be getting the wall bounces and things like that. But that's one of the most interesting things about the game is you get... so in a Street Fighter, if I do EX Donkey Kick or something like that, I'm going to get the wall bounce no matter where I am relative on the screen.
Right.
In All-Stars, you'll get a guaranteed wall bounce, but basically the characters have momentum or a speed to it when they're ejected. And if the speed is great enough when they hit the wall, they will bounce off and be put back into position for a combo or a follow-up, even a super, depending on what it might be. But it depends on where they are relative to the wall. So if you do the same eject move from the middle of the screen, they might not have enough velocity to bounce off the wall, so you have to adjust your combo there. That's something we got to do a little video just showing that and how that works. And also, again, the situational awareness to do things like, with Parappa, if you're diving down with towards a triangle, like sort of a 45-degree down angled attack, you got to know where that, depending on where that makes impact with your opponent, you can do different kinds of combos based on that.
Yeah. We got Toro's level 2 on deck. He's looking for a good opportunity.
There it is. I think he's got... No! Air dodge. Beautiful stuff. That explosion covers the whole area of that explosion. It's a very strong level 2, and that's got to hurt Toro because that had to be his whole strategy right there. He was building up for that.
Extremely small window frame to dodge that super, and Dean did a really good job.
That was beautiful stuff from Big Daddy. And that level 1, that sniper rifle is very strong stuff here potentially. Because it will stun your opponent. Now he's laying down that ice on the ground. You see that plasmid earlier? Caught him, missed the follow-up, again, was slightly out of position.
Oh, he's going to get him.
Oh, yes,
nice.
baited him and
Nice.
went the other way to close it out for Big Daddy. Good stuff there from Dean. Toro looking sad. I would have thought Toro had the advantage there, but Dean, too strong. Takes it home for Big Daddy. Let's see who we have up next. Is this our finale?
Yeah, we got Ron Lefevre and Ray Ray coming up to bat.
The Fever and Ray Ray.
Two of our very talented combat designers.
Ray Ray I like especially because she's nuts. So she makes all the characters crazy, and then you got to reel it back in. You're like, yo, this character's the best character in the game by like 9 times. And she's like, what?
Yeah, she has a lot of great characters that she designed. Raiden, especially, I'm a big
You're a big Raiden fan.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper
Sly,
and
Toro,
yeah,
Parappa.
Toro, a lot of crazy stuff. Parappa also really interesting. So I like her because there's so many old school fighting game heads on the team that are like, this is how characters must be, and very much from sort of the old school 2D perspectives. That's how they look at them. And Ray is just like, I'm just gonna do what I think is awesome, and you guys figure it out. And she's done some great stuff.
And so we have a dream matchup here: Ratchet versus Jack, Ratchet and Clank versus Jack and Daxter. Both these mid-range characters. You're not going to see them get too close to each other, but at the same time, putting a lot of stuff on the screen, trying to build up that AP.
And Ratchet getting out the little helpers there. He's got Mr. Zircon for a little
Ooh,
assist. And the trap. That was good stuff. And he had one of those down in advance and then popped the other one down just when he saw the jump in because he knew I'd get the shock reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Very smart stuff.
And those Tesla coils that he sets down, the Tesla spikes, you can set those in any position that you want. So you can have them be horizontal, you can have them be vertical.
Yeah, you get really interesting traps with those things going.
Yeah. So what a lot of Ratchet players like to do, they'll set the traps down, and they'll get behind the trap so you can't get him, especially against those melee characters, and just shoot from behind the trap. And it stays active for quite a long time.
Jack trying to use some of those angled shots to control space, but now trying to stay away from those killer bees, which are going to make Ratchet dominant at this stage. And I love that up triangle. Dude, so good.
Yeah, it's way
Ratchet also very good at harassing characters in the corner. If you can get a launch, that up square, like the electric whip.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that thing is actually called, but that thing controls a huge amount of space, and the hitbox changes from when you use it on the ground to in the air, so it has a nice sort of sweeping arc to it that really very difficult to avoid.
Yeah, he's one of those characters where he's not the most mobile character, but he can definitely. He has. Nice! Mass inverter into level 1.
And that was super tricky. Ratchet trying to be tricky with the Oki there. After the knockdown, he threw out the wrench to try and hit on the backside.
Right.
So basically, on wake up, you can try and get the wrench boomerangs out, and so he's trying to get the wrench to come back and hit from the back to set up a quick little combo, but instead got hit with a mass inverter, which you can hit confirm into a level 1.
Yeah, it's a move that you have to set up. It's not the most
very slow startup, but
but
with
once you
smart
get it,
stuff like that, you get a reward. Risk versus reward. Fighting game 101. Yeah, and he's using that sniper rifle again, completely aimable. Yeah, going to build a little distance.
And he has several moves that go, down and up, so he can cover a lot of different angles. Like I was saying before, he's not the most mobile character, but he has something for every situation.
Oh, I think he had a combo opportunity after that knockdown. Basically, a sweep off that triangle. It'll knock the character off their feet, but leave them in good position in front of you.
Yeah.
You can follow that up with the launcher, basically. They both get bubbled up. I miss Nefarious. Background stage interactions, and you see the Chimera running around.
Looks like Ratchet's going for his level 2, but looking for a spot to land at level 1. His level 1's so dominant. Trying again with the suck cannon.
And he's also got basically the SPD of the game. Oh, he's going in for the kill and got blown up. Didn't watch.
He uses it to his advantage. Jeez.
Another painful turnaround for Ratchet. It pulls out Mr. Zircon there.
Yeah, there's really, if you get a chance to use Mr. Zircon, he doesn't have any recovery, any startup, So, it's really
one of those things you want to have out there for sure.
Yeah, just something to always have.
Wow.
No, he dodges it. He could have
baited it. Oh, he didn't have super enough to kill him, but definitely baited it out and gets blown up again.
So Ratchet has a lot of work to do.
That slight homing there, that got nerfed a little bit from earlier versions where the tracking on that move was extremely strong. Tries to set up the sniper rifle, doesn't pull it off.
Yeah, I remember the very first time I played Jack, which was a pretty long time ago. That thing would
That's all I did.
Yeah, it would
I
track
just
behind
jump and fire that off. Yeah.
Definitely something that needed adjustment.
Ratchet with the level 1 needs to get in there.
Yeah, Ratchet's definitely one of those characters that can benefit greatly from the Hermes boots.
I think Jack was in his head a little bit on that first one, especially just because he thought he had that level 1 kill, and not only did he not have it, he waited, stood in front of it, rolled behind it, basically taunted him from behind.
Right. So you'll see Ratchet is kind of making sure to keep distance from Jack. He has his lead and he's sitting on it, and so Jack has to chase him down with whatever he can. Oh, nice combo. Jack not the most combo heavy character, but he definitely has a few 2 or 3 hitters. Builds him a very decent amount of AP. He just needs to land 2 or 3 of those for level 1 super. Also, he has his hoverboard. Jack. He's actually one of the more mobile characters because of that hoverboard.
Yeah.
Kind of acts like an air dash. Oh, Jack level 2.
Tried to set up the level 2, and that I think was way over aggressive, really hoping for a quick down recovery from Ratchet, and just total misread there and paid the price with a completely whipped level 2.
Jack's level 2 is one of those supers that has a bit flexibility. After you activate it, you can aim it either left or right, and it just has a huge AoE hitbox. So it's really something that you want to harass the combat ball with.
Yeah,
for a good opportunity. Do it off of the top of a ledge, kind of like Big Daddy's level 1. Oh, he interrupts the level 1.
Yeah, knocked out of it. Not the fastest startup on that. A lot of active frames. That's a throw there with Daxter bouncing on his head. Bam.
Shoots him right.
And I like to see a little more of that, especially in 1v1. That is the biggest range throw in the game.
Yeah.
That's Suck
really
Cannon.
unique.
And you can also hold it out there for quite a while, so it has a lot more active frames than any throw. Sort of the Zangief, but we haven't seen Ratchet really being played in the throw style at all yet.
Yeah, I think a lot of players, when they play free-for-all 2v2, they get a lot of chances to land that sub cannon. You have unsuspecting opponents.
Yeah, I want to see a little more of that.
Jack has his level 1 ready.
Trying to guess in the air with the up triangle, not finding its home. Catches him with the last hit of the eject. Gets the knockdown, just firing it off again.
Harassing him with that sniper rifle. Jack has to make an adjustment.
Pick with the Spear of Destiny, then dropped it. Let's go for that. And again, this is it ejects AP for the basically calling the rocket launch. And I think the way most players use that is almost defensively by calling in the rockets around you, because they won't hit the person that fired the gun.
Right.
They'll only hit the opponent. So with those rockets down around you, it's basically like an assist that's covering whatever move you do next.
Yeah.
So you call in the rockets and then go for something a little bit unsafe, because you've got rocket fire coming in.
Yeah, as long as you learn exactly how long it takes from pressing the button to the rockets making contact with wherever you aim them. Oh, nice.
Sets him up, get a little help. The bubble got caught looking.
Cool. So yeah, I want to thank Wednesday Night Fights, everyone here at Level Up Live, for giving us a chance to showcase the game. We have a bunch of setups, a bunch of people playing on the setups. We also have our stream station here. We got to play a few Superbot only matches. I hope you guys enjoyed our little showcase.
All right, let's go do some 1v1.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
November 20th, pre-order now.